And the second thing we want to practice is SILA, keeping the precepts, learning to have moral conduct. And we learn that we have to keep the precepts in order that we do not harm other living beings. Precepts like the 5 precepts: not to kill, not to steal, not to commit adultery, not to lie, not to take intoxicants. And these 5 precepts are to be kept every day. And if we practice the 5 precepts, then we learn to renounce also the pleasures from harming other beings, because there are certain sports that we could indulge in, like hunting, fishing, where we enjoy at the expense of other living beings, and other things like drinking, seducing somebody else's husband or wife, etc. All these things that we think give us a lot of fun, give us a lot of enjoyment, but it is at the expense of somebody else, or at our expense. So we learn to give that up, and so we keep the precepts. We walk the straight and narrow path, which is of course more difficult to walk. And the Buddha also encouraged us to keep the 8 precepts, because if we keep the 8 precepts, then the chances of getting a good rebirth are very great. In addition to the 5 precepts, then we keep the 6th precept of avoiding normal food after between noon and the next dawn. Is the 6th precept. The 7th precept is not to adorn the body, use perfume, etc., and not to see shows and watch, listen to music, etc. And then the 8th precept is not to sleep on high and comfortable, luxurious beds. So the Buddha said, as lay people, you don't have the time to cultivate every day like a monk, but at least once a week you should take the trouble to cultivate. And 8 precepts is training that reminds you that there are monks and nuns who spend their whole life cultivating the holy path. At least if you're not able to do that, then at least once a week you think of cultivating the holy path, because life is very uncertain. We never know when we are going to pass away. If we look around, we find that most people, they forget that life is short, and they always think that they have time. That's one of the greatest mistakes of life. We fail to realize that we don't have time. Just now, somebody was telling me, a monk was telling me that he heard that the nun Ayakema passed away 2 months ago. It was a bit surprise to me, because Ayakema just started a forest monastery, and just a few months ago, in July, I think they had their opening, and she was supposed to ordain Samanera to become a full-fledged monk. And just as the monastery is just starting, and she passes away. So you see, we fail to realize that we don't have time. So sometimes we plan this and we plan that, but don't have the time to carry it out. Life is too short. So because of that, we must remember, at least as lay people, once a week to keep the 8 precepts.